FBI and, sort of ID yourself.
Take that. Oh, it's that?
Yep.
Okay. My name's Art Ruffles, former special agent with the FBI, assigned to the New York office, the Gambino family squad, organized crime. And
What years was that?
I was on the Gambino squad 1980 to 1990.
Okay. How did Dominick first come to your attention?
Well, we had been looking for Dominick for quite a while. I would say up maybe close to 2 years, perhaps.
That's how long.
And we had some, we had interviewed people who knew him and so on. Do you know where he is? That type of thing. And then, out of very good police work by the New York Police Department, the detectives had spoken with a fellow who owned a restaurant in Brooklyn.
Who would have been?
The restaurant when they came in and got
Oh no, that was the Hickory Pit in Manhattan.
Oh, it was
On
in Manhattan.
Madison.
See, I didn't know that. I was the only. The way my role came about was, at that time that this case, when Walter Mack started the investigation, he was organizing a task force of different agencies, including the New York Police Department, and he asked for 6 FBI agents. Unfortunately, our squad, which is about, say, 20 guys, had a wire on Angelo Ruggiero's house. Angelo Ruggiero was a soldier and in the Gambino family, and he was John Gotti's best friend. And we had a wire going in his house, a bug, and we had a couple of phones tapped. Well, that requires all the manpower on the squad, because you have to have guys monitoring the machines, the actual physical machines, and then you have to have surveillance going to physically observe who's coming in and who's leaving and the times, and we know what type of conversation is going to take place, whether we're going to record it or not be allowed to record it. It has to pertain to organized crime and criminal matters.
Right.
So I was helping out with the surveillance part of things. And one day my supervisor, Bruce Mao, said to me, "Hey Art, I'm going to assign you on a temporary basis over to Manhattan with the U.S. Attorney's Office, a guy named Walter Mack." I didn't even know Walter Mack. An assistant named Walter Mack, who's starting an investigation and a task force on Roy DeMeo. Well, I had heard of Roy DeMeo, but I didn't know very much about him. And he said, he says, "Unless you have an objection to it, I'd like to send you over there." I said, "No problem, I'll be glad to go." He says, "Just on a part-time basis, because I still need you to help out on the Angelo wire." So I went over and met Walter, met some of the guys that were already on it. We had some IRS agents and ATF agents, postal inspectors. We had about 6 or 8 detectives assigned, 4 from auto crime, because that was one of the biggest parts of the DeMeo crew, was the car ring, stolen car ring, and 4 homicide detectives. And that's when I first met Frank Pergola. And we just started working, and Bruce was with me when I went over to meet him, Bruce Mao, my supervisor, and he said, "Look, we don't have 6 agents to assign, and I can't even assign Art full time, but he's going to be like liaison with you, and he'll carry out whatever whatever comes up that you need from the federal government, he'll try to do,
Right.
which is the way we started. But the thing got moving so fast that, I mean, within a month I was full-time assigned to the place. And then maybe a year later, I asked for more help because I couldn't really do everything myself. And that's when I got a female agent to come over and work with me, Marilyn Luck. And she worked out great. She really did a lot of good stuff. So then with Dominick, it wasn't too long that after I was there that the detectives told me that they had gone out. They had gotten a call from the guy who owned that restaurant, who owed Dominick some back money from before he had flown the coop out to California,
Right.
And he was back to try to pick up some of that money. And so the guy kind of says, okay, just give me a little time to get the money together. And as soon as Dominick leaves, he calls one of the detectives and says, hey, Dominick was just here and he's coming back. And he knew just when he was coming. So they had 6 detectives out there, and they went in and they sat around, and then as soon as whenever they made the move, they grabbed him.
What were you looking for him in the first place for? I mean, what was it that you were searching
Well,
out?
we knew he was Nino's nephew,
Right.
and that he had lived at Nino's house. We knew that part. We already had Freddie with us. We had we had Freddie first before you came in. Yeah, and Freddie had told us a lot. And part of it was that Dominick was the guy who knew everything that went on.
Right.
And that he was Nino's trusted right-hand man and driver. So that's what really piqued our interest in Dominick, and we were really anxious to get our hands on him. And of course, this was the break we needed. And when we first got him, he said, I don't want to talk to you guys. I don't want. And I wasn't even there for that conference. And because I was still, I guess, doing part-time, I was still back.
I met you that night up in the U.S. Attorney's
Oh,
office.
I did come over for that?
Yeah.
Because I was over working on the surveillance on Ruggiero. But anyway, they called me then to come over. Because I would have to be there in case you were going to make a deal with the government. I'm the one, the FBI is the one who puts you in, proposes you to go into the witness security program. So I would have to do all the paperwork and communicate with Washington and the marshals and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And so, but he said, I don't want to make any deals. I don't need any help.
So they
Okay,
put you
so they put him into
in MCC.
MCC, the Metropolitan Corrections, at the Federal House of Detention. And I think he was there maybe 2 days,
Yeah,
3
once I
days.
found out about the contract.
Yeah, and while he was there, he gets word from other inmates that they're looking to clip him. Well, the best place to clip you is right in the joint. So he called, said, I think I got to talk with you guys. So, of course, then we were all there for that. We just went from there, and
What was you?